something, and then you guys would join back.
Okay. All right.
Or we
Here's the
die.
thing.
God.
I will help you out since we're at an impasse. Okay. Maybe you should ask some more questions.
Actually, I was going to say I'm not sure we're necessarily at an impasse. If Patrick and Mila are dead set on going, Al will follow them. He just would vote not to and thinks it's a horrible idea, but he feels enough loyalty to his friends that he's going to follow them if they're completely dead set on doing this. It doesn't mean that he's not going to make a strong argument for why they shouldn't, but...
Every step of the way, this is stupid. This is stupid. Hey, there's a new message on the comm. You guys are being stupid. Shut up, Al.
But
Yeah, whatever, Al.
yeah, but the
I just
truth...
don't like it.
Why are you such a downer?
The truth of the matter is that I'm not sure it's an impasse, because if they're dead set to the point where they're like, why don't we split up, then it's going to be like, look, you guys are obviously going, I'm going with you, I just...
Okay.
And I'm just stuck there going, but I don't want to.
Why is everyone so scared about dragons?
It's funny because Mila's
It's
like
a
convinced that
dragon.
they'll die, but it doesn't really bother her.
It's a 50
There's a
foot
dragon there,
by
she's like, we're gonna
50
die.
foot dragon. It's a 50-foot by 50-foot dragon. I'm like 6 feet tall.
according to common knowledge, is extremely intelligent, extremely powerful. We're not talking about a fury beetle that would charge straight towards an explosive package. We're talking about something extremely
Hooray!
intelligent and devious and smart enough to make treasure maps to lure. And that's the bigger thing for me, is that we're being told that there's a good chance it created these simply to get people to do what you want to do right now. In other words,
Exactly.
in Al's mind, we are walking into a trap set by something far beyond our capabilities.
But we know we're walking into the trap. So
See,
therefore,
she
it's
gets it.
kind of a trap.
Mila.
Mila. Oh, Jesus, I love you.
Mila, I love you. I love you, but that's only in stories. The idea that you know it's a trap, so there's less far dangerous when you walk into it, is not realistic.
Plus, we don't even know what kind of dragon it is.
Well, we can do some research.
Yes, but
Research doesn't tell you anything until you actually see it with your eyes.
well, I
What
was going to
kind
say
of
this is
dragon
that
is
we
this?
we could research on dragons, and we can know that this dragon does that, and that dragon does this, and this dragon does that. But without knowing which dragon it is, we could be fighting My Little Ponies for all we know. Or
You
it
guys
could,
are like anti-fun, aren't you? Is that
An-
what you are?
anti-fun?
You're embodiment of anti-fun?
anti-fun? No, I'm anti-dying.
If you and Mila are in the in the fun V, me and Al are in the humdrum V. Okay.
Sure.
No, I'm all for fun, and I'm all for taking risks. You should know me well enough by now that I do not shy away from battle. But I also don't like taking insane risks when there's no reason to believe that there's even a reason to take it. I have not stayed alive as long as I have running from the entire coalition by taking insane risks.
Same.
Actually, no, I'm actually good. I've remembered something. I need to ask something.
Were you saying that in character?
Yeah, I'm like sitting there going, is this in character? Oh, was I saying that in character? Yeah. I
Yeah,
was.
were you?
Mhm.
Okay, Mila looks really insulted but doesn't say anything. Like,
Yay!
actually, legitimately, you pissed off Mila, but she's not saying anything. So, just thought you'd.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the way you worded your last statement really rubbed her the wrong way.
Ooh.
Alright.
I don't remember what I said.
All right. I'm going to actually.
Remember what you said either.
I'm going
Exactly.
to try to recall.
Watch your mouth.
I'm going to try to recall how long dragons live for.
Oh, jeez.
All right. Go for. All right. And give me a roll. Monsters and.
Woo! 95. That's how
Oh.
long they live.
You heard a dragon lived around 1,000 years? Question mark?
Sort of.
I'm going to need to do a bit more research on this. Apparently.
Yeah.
I know nothing about
Yeah,
no
no,
dragons.
no, it's sad though, because like I mean, out of character, it sounds really fun, but I just don't think my character would ever, in any way, shape, or form, be like, "This is a good idea."
Yeah. Yeah. There are certain things that Tom is willing to do, like to just go up against. Dragon is like, no. That's where he crosses the line. That's where the line is.
even know what dragons are.
We know.
Vula's been watching you all. Vula's been watching you all intently during this very lively debate whether you should continue or not. And he, and he's clearly quite amused by this, but he says, he asks, he says, "Do you have anything else of worth to give me? Because I might," he raises his hand, "might be able to help."
What would you find valuable?
Well,
We have
Like
a
I
dead
said.
fury beetle in our AV.
We have the skin, the shell of the dead fury beetle.
Yes.
We don't have
have
the actual thing in there.
that armors and weapons do not interest us. We can protect us quite well.
We have
No.
a 10.
Tom, I'm pretty sure he doesn't need it.
Well, if you're not going to take my suggestion seriously,
No.
Yeah,
no,
Tom, what the hell?
No. Yes, I'm far more interested in hearing what you have to say.
well, I think this is my plan, and you can discern whether you think it's a valuable exchange, and if you come up with something that I find interesting. But I could convince where you want to go is relatively a short distance away. Only 2 days' travel at most. My older brothers, I could convince them to leave this wood and go on ahead. They do not tire like the rest of us mortals, and they would be able to travel continuously for the next day, see if there's any being nearby, and come back to report. They wouldn't do this of their free will, but they would do it if I would ask them. And I know a few that I've known for quite some time that they might be able to help. And in the meantime, you could stay here under my roof. But for my hospitality and for the possible danger of my older brothers, you'd have to offer something significant. A magical item, perhaps.
Looks over at Patrick.
Everyone stares at Patrick.
Great knowledge. He says great, obviously my own knowledge, my desire to contact the plane of fire is greatest, but you've already helped me as much as you can. So all I can need is something that increases my own magical power so I can do it.
I have some magic sources you might be able to use.
Really?
Are you familiar with gems that hold magical power in them?
I'm extremely aware of them.
All right,
You have some?
I do.
You do. How many?
Well, I've only been a measly explorer, and I have come across only 2. Now, there might be more. I have to go check the other gems that we just found. But as far as I know, I have 2.
Do they hold a significant amount of magical power? 100. They hold like 100 ppe each. Yes, they do. That's actually quite significant, Piff.
Yes, they do.
Give me both, and you can consider yourselves you can consider the deal done.
2 magic gems for scouting. And housing, of course.
I'm looking at Patrick.
Yes, Tom?
Slowly start nodding.
This is something I can definitely get behind. I would say. Look,
Nod.
intelligence
I
is
start nod.
yeah, intelligence is fantastic. I'm all for taking risks. We just need more information. I can get behind this.
Alright, if you're looking for magic sources specifically, I can show you one, and you might be able to decipher if that actually is enough for what you need.
Okay.
As I recall, they do house quite a bit. And if that's enough, I would love for it to be just the one, but if you need both of them, I will do that. It seems a little steep on my side for scouting, but since this is also against a little bit against their will and whatnot, you're doing it a favor. I think I might actually settle on 2.
Very well. How about you give me 1, and if it is what you say it is, I'll send out my friends, and when they come back and tell me the knowledge itself, then we can haggle on the second.
All right.
Very well. I was going to say here, so yeah, you could go retrieve the gem, and Vul is, he tries to keep his composure, but it is clear that he's very excited by this prospect. Sure enough, he steps outside, he speaks, he doesn't speak at all. He merely just looks at a few of those fiery companions of his, and they leave.
And I'm going to say something like, see,
It-
if we had a robotic squirrel, we wouldn't have needed this.
It's true.
Yeah, but dragons are smart.
You're gonna get your you're gonna get your robotic squirrel soon enough, actually.
Yeah.
Probably by the end of this whole shebang. But and off they go. So we're gonna say that the time that it takes, a day there and a day back, so the 2 days that you spend underneath his home, is relatively uneventful. But I'll give you some broad knowledge over this situation that your characters would come across clearly, just by, even if he wasn't conversing all that much, you would sort of learn. All right. Vul is what is known as a warlock, which is a elemental magic user who communicates with the plane, with different planes. In this case, it's a plane of fire, where he gets his powers. And he is the kindred spirit of these fire elementals. Fire elementals are immortal. They're immortal fire spirits, pretty much, is what they are. And they're typically summoned through magic rituals to do certain tasks and go back home. But clearly these ones have not been able to go back home for whatever reason. Obviously, living and even resting, you could rest inside of his home itself. Like I said, it's cool and clear, and it's a good place, and the air is clear and everything like that. But it is relatively cramped for the 4 of you. So you can obviously leave the actual wood itself and make camp in the actual thing, and he actually would prefer it, only because his elemental brothers, he keeps calling them his big brothers too, by the way, which is a strange misnomer, but he says they still aren't crazy about you being in what's considered their land for whatever reason. So you are encouraged to actually sleep and do most of your day-to-day stuff outside of the wood. Now, is there anything that you guys want to converse amongst yourselves over the next few days, or questions you'd like to ask Vul before his big brothers come back and let them know what is up ahead?
I think my character would definitely study up on as much dragon knowledge as he can get his hands on.
You didn't bring a whole lot of it with you, honestly. You know a lot about the world, but most of your stuff about dragons is like old stories you heard around the bar about them. You know they can metamorphize into other people, and you know that they are powerful creatures that can not absorb, but can sustain mega damage fire. They can cast spells, and they're known for being very isolationist and loners. Yeah. And and extremely territorial. But that's it, just general knowledge right now, until you actually get a more concrete source.
And they all have the voice of Sean Connery.
Not quite. Not quite.
I definitely accept this. I just think it's the funniest thing that I know their language, but I have zero idea what I do.
Oh, my friend, Draconic and Rifts, elves speak Draconic.
Oh.
It's like, I don't know. It's like Latin in a way, right?
Yeah, like you can know Latin and know nothing about the Romans.
Latin, yeah. You know exactly. That's exactly what it is. You could know Latin and know nothing about the Romans. It's a dead language, right? And same thing with Draconic. So, yeah. And a lot of magical stuff is in Draconic, so that's why you would really know it. But you never have to meet a dragon in order to learn it.
I would need to know. Does Mila stay mad at me for a length of time?
Mila?
No, but she definitely gave you a look that was very unlike her and glared at you for a few minutes, but then...
Yeah, then I think I'd want to have a conversation with Mila.
All right.
Mila?
What?
Yeah?
Did I say something to upset you?
What? No, I don't think so.
Earlier, when we were having the conversation about going to the dragons or not, I said that I haven't stayed alive as long as I have by taking insane chances, and the look you gave me made me feel like you were trying to tear me apart.
Oh.
Lisa.
No. I mean... Mila kind of just gets quiet and doesn't say anything else.
Mila, you're my friend. And I understand that there are parts of your past that you don't want to share, and I get that. But when not knowing about you makes it difficult for me to be your friend, because I don't know what I can and can't say around you, that becomes a problem.
Well, everything's fine. I don't know why you're making a big to-do.
Because I don't like it when my friends are mad at me, and I don't even know what I did.
I'm not mad at you. God. Calm down. It's all right. Don't worry. I'm not mad. See? Mila just gives a big smile. I'm okay.
But I'm not.
I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to force...
Inferno gets it.
I'm not going to force you, but just understand, this isn't the first time you've gotten mad at me, and I have no idea why, and that bothers me greatly.
I don't get mad at people, though. Well, maybe I do. I get irritated. Yeah, I guess you irritate me sometimes. But that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Really, I'm okay.
Again, I'm not, and I ask you to consider that. But we'll drop it for the time being.
All right.
You need like some Tums?
Like, I mean,
stomachache?
it seriously bothers Al.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
But other than that, no, we're good.
Sorry.
God dang it.
All right. Can we continue on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. So, the next day, we'll say you guys are just camping just outside of the wood itself. And sure enough, Vul emerges from the fiery wood, and he has a bit of a smile on his face. And he says, he approaches Patrick and he says, "You might as well just give that other gem to me. You're going to want to hear what I have to say. What my big brother's found out."
All right.
Wow. That is a good bargainer right there. Well, sir.
Fool kind of just raises his eyebrows. I'm like, okay. He takes it back. And he says, the dragon isn't there.
Good.
They think the dragon is dead. However, there's something else in its place. They didn't see it itself, but they saw markings of its territory. Other beings, mostly skeletal, old, rotten away, impaled by ribs of a giant creature, which could be a dragon itself. The beast's name I do not know, but its type is called a Thornhead. It is a demon that has come through the rifts and is equally as territorial as a dragon. However, although it is cruel and greedy, it is nothing like the great worm that used to reside there.
You all
Well.
worried about a dragon?
Now it's a demon.
Yep!
I don't see how this is an upgrade.
It totally is.
I was waiting for someone to say that.
It's not a dragon. It's a demon.
Okay.
Oh, look, our survivability just skyrocketed. Aren't you happy, Al? Come on. Come on.
I'm happier.
Tom looks at Al with a worried look.
Look, Tom, I get it. I understand. But they're dead set on going. And they were probably going to go whether they had the scouting or not. And at least now, we've faced demons. We've beaten demons. Kind of taps
Okay.
his faceplate. For the most part.
True. I have a question for Vul.
Sure.
Does this Thornhead thing, does it fly?
No.
No.
Not that I'm aware of. I've never had to face the demon itself. I've only heard of them.
I will
Okay,
now check through my notes for Thornhead.
Okay, Thornhead, you do know. Oh, actually, give me a demonic roll, and I will tell you exactly how much you know about this.
Yay!
All right. So, spurred by his knowledge, I am going to give you some general information on the Thorn.
Awesome.
It is a demonic. Okay. So the Thornhead is a demonic predatory creature from a rift nearby. Your notes and your knowledge, Piff, pointed towards where Detroit used to be. So it's actually pretty common to find in this area. It has limited human intelligence and human-like emotions, but it is a creature that does love to torture, maim, and kill others. It's an extremely territorial monster, as Vul had mentioned before, and it will often mark its territory by impaling humanoid corpses onto trees, which, once again, his scouts have confirmed. They, let's see here. The Thornhead does hoard valuables, like I said before, but not intangibles like digital credits. It doesn't give a shit about that. It cares more about metals, gems, jewelry, magic items, weapons, and armor. which would have attracted it to an old dragon's lair. Let's see here. They also collect the skulls of their most impressive victims. They are approximately 10 feet tall, half a ton, humanoid creatures that are extremely muscly. The reason why it's called a thorn head is that off the sides of its head are two large horns, much like that of a stag, with smaller horns around the crown of its head. Jutting out the sides of its head are two tentacles. On the edge of those tentacles are little heads themselves with single eyes and teeth that bite its victims. It knows magic. The tentacles themselves are quite dangerous. Piff's notes notice that people who have encountered thornheads have been blinded, paralyzed, or sent to sleep by a single bite of these creatures. And they also have a few natural abilities, such as very keen vision. They can see the invisible, and they're impervious to normal fire and cold. They're also known to be able to regenerate their wounds, although how long it takes isn't known.
Wow. Okay.
Well, it sounds...
As far as the personality goes, they're known to be temperamental, quick to anger, childish, greedy, cruel, vindictive, and they hate other creatures of magic, especially dragons and other thornheads, whom they see as rivals.
Well, that's a thing.
So it has 4 eyes to shoot out.
Yes. It has 4 eyes. I'd show you a picture, but I'll only show you a picture once you actually come across the fucker, if you choose to do so.
Now, as scary as that sounds, it sounds a lot more manageable than a great 50-foot dragon.
Yeah.
10 feet, 50. 10
Yeah.
feet, 50 feet. I still love that, though. Oh, great. Instead of a dragon, we got a demon.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't mind tangling with that.
Well, I would still mind tangling with it, but I'm much less hesitant.
Yeah, we just Tom, don't use your fire. Don't. You need to use your gun.
I thought you said natural fire.
He did say natural fire.
Oh, purpose and natural fire.
Yeah.
So he's okay with the magical kind?
Well,
Yeah.
okay is a
Well, there's only
strong
one way to
word.
find out.
I can try.
Mythbusters.
You know what? My character would be okay with that.
We're gonna shoot magical fire at it.
Let's try.
Your character is a little bit like Jamie Heineman. Just throwing that out there.
Yes.
Who, Piff's character?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is true.
That really quiet, sort of awkward.
he needs a beret.
Yeah, and a mustache and look like a walrus.
And just never age.
Yeah.
Too bad I got a miner's hat on.
But yes, this is something I can get behind.
Do you see where his eyes are? Study them.
Okay. Well, my dear friends, as much as I'd love to do the Thornhead encounter or that cave encounter, it is.
Yeah.
I do need to go to sleep, and I need to be asleep in about an hour, and the fight might take a little bit longer than that.
Agreed.
So maybe we save it for next time.
Yes.
So this is more of a talkie session, but that's okay. Sometimes talkie sessions work.
Would the
I'm
You have
still
other
stuck
questions?
on.
Yeah.
I'm still stuck on the 2 extra heads, just kind of like
Oh
out the
yeah.
side of his head.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Totally.
Yeah.
Actually, fuck it. You know what, Piff, you're a decent drawer, aren't you?
let's see.
I have colored pencils and some paper. I can.
Here, this is what we'll do. Just because I want to show you this fucking thing, because I'm crazy. So, Pip's going to describe it, and...
This is what we
Right.
get in our
Still-
mind's eye.